Hey folks, we're back. Sorry, computer glitch. Everybody picked the Ravens. That's what you missed. So, moving on now. I have to post this in 2 parts now. Jesus. All right. Colts at Jacksonville. Phillip Rivers, first game in a different color blue.
Oh, I didn't realize until you had told me that Rivers changed teams, and that made me kind of sad.
It does make me a little sad, yeah.
If I may go first.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick the Colts because Phillip Rivers is one of those tried but true quarterbacks, and I don't know what assets the Colts have, but
T.Y. Hilton.
I think Phillip Rivers can do something with that, at least better than Jacksonville can do with whoever the heck their quarterback is now.
Gardner Minshew. The stash.
That's my guy right there.
He's fun. He's a fun, like, his character is fun, and he's kind of fun to watch. I just don't think he has. I don't know. I don't see the Jags being very good this year. So.
I told you that one year was their chance.
Yep.
That rigged lost them their chance at the Super Bowl. They'll never have that again.
Yep. That was it. Now their defense is crap.
I'm still proud of that choice.
All right. So I got Colts. Kenny, you got Colts. Tyler.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about here. Definitely the Colts.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, so the next game, I actually think this could be pretty good. Raiders at Carolina. Carolina's sporting Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback now.
Okay, that was my question.
Yep.
Who do the Raiders have? They still have the same quarterback.
Derek Carr, yeah. I'm picking Oakland, actually. I like the Raiders' offense. I like their offensive personnel. And I do not like Carolina's offensive personnel outside of CMC.
Believe me when I say this, I absolutely love Teddy Bridgewater, and I absolutely love me some Christian McCaffrey. However, I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get in an offensive groove. CMC is going to do his thing, but I think Bridgewater is going to take a little bit of time to find his groove. So I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one.
Okay.
I don't really know enough about either teams. All I can remember is that the Raiders are a pretty good average team, and the Panthers are like average to below average most of the time. So I'm going to go with Raiders as well.
All right. Next game, another division game. Bears at Detroit Lions.
Will we ever disagree on a pick? I know next time.
On Dragon Ball Z.
You might call me a hater for this one, but I'm telling you, I'm going with the Lions on this. Like, I do not like the Bears. I do not like their decision to start Trubisky at quarterback. I'm sorry. He is not the guy. You saw it last year, and you want to keep denying it. Dude, he's not your guy. Move on. You've got to move on.
Apparently, Trubisky had a really good training camp. His leadership is improving. But I just think it's Ryan Pace being stubborn and not being willing to admit he made a giant mistake in the draft. Now, mind you, with Foles, I'm not sure the Bears would be all that great either. But I'm picking Detroit 100%.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Detroit because I don't think it's a division game, and I think it's time for the Lions to get a little bit ahead. If the Lions,
you're breaking up.
Out again.
How do I even?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lions as well.
Right.
Because I'm also an underdog fan. I am a Ravens fan. So for a while we were underdogs.
Hey, I always love a good underdog story.
Yep, that's why I love the Jaguars. What was it, 2 years ago they almost made it to the Super Bowl?
They were going for it.
Yep, 2 years ago. I said at the start of the season, I was like, Jaguars are going to be almost undefeated this season if you watch. I had nothing to back it up. I was completely right.
I just have to say, I just want to put this out there. T.J. Hawkinson is a stud.
Oh,
Detroit
absolutely.
did a good job picking him up.
Yep.
Whoever made the decision to draft that man, give him a raise.
Yep, 100%.
What position is this man in?
Tight end.
He's the tight end.
And he's a damn good
Don't worry,
one.
as the season progresses, I assume I'll start recognizing names again. That's usually what happens.
And Stafford's back, and I think Stafford might be coming back with kind of a chip on the old shoulder this go around. So I'm thinking he might have a good year. Now, will that translate to Detroit having a good year? I don't know, but we'll see.
Probably not. We'll try.
Yeah. All right, so next game, Seahawks at Falcons. Falcons are one of those teams for me. They've got all the talent. I don't know where the disconnect is. I have absolutely no idea, because they should not have won as few games last year as they should have, or as they did. But I've got, you guys know me, I've always got so much faith in Seattle every single week, every single year. So I'm going, and I can't bet against Russell Wilson. I just can't do it. So I'm going with Seattle.
I mean, the dude is a perennial MVP candidate, so you'd be kind of nuts to bet against him.
The fact that he's never won MVP before is absolutely criminal.
And you know what's even more criminal?
What's that?
The fact that he probably never will now that Patty Mahomes is doing what he was born to do.
Facts.
I'm just I'm doing a quick little research on the Falcons, because my first instinct was my first instinct is Seattle, but sometimes the Falcons come out of nowhere and they do a little surprise dance for a couple of games.
Right.
But based on the environmental factors of this whole pandemic, no preseason, training camps, or I don't even know how those are structured. I think I'm going to have to agree and go with Seattle on this one, just because if the Falcons were to pull out a victory here, I'm not saying I'd be surprised, but I'm not expecting them to pull out one of their, oh gosh, the Falcons are really good this year games.
Definitely. Yeah, 100% Seattle all the way.
I know the Falcons have, like Ricky said, I know the Falcons have the team to put a good game against the Seahawks. They just don't do it. They're just not consistent to do so.
Right.
Okay, so next game is Miami Dolphins at New England. Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter off the bat for Miami, and New England now has Cam Newton at quarterback. I'm thinking Miami. I'm thinking we'll see Tua probably week 8, week 9, somewhere in there. The Dolphins are one of those teams for me. I think they could surprise some people this year, because they made a lot of really, really good offseason signings. Jordan Howard, Byron Jones. Does that mean I think they're going to go to the playoffs or something? No, but I could see an 8-8 season for Miami, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure they're going to go up and win in Foxborough, though. Unless Fitzpatrick does some Fitzmagic, then maybe, but I'm just not sure I see it. So I got to go with New England.
So is that a Dolphins or a Patriots?
No, I got to go New England.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really liked about New England's offseason was that they gave Cam Newton a shot, because that man, I don't know, it's just him and Carolina were good, and then suddenly they weren't, and it's just I never fully understood it myself, which really sucked for him, but I'm glad he's getting a fresh start in Foxborough. And from what I've seen and from what I've heard about the determination that man has, about getting back to where he was MVP caliber, I have to go with New England, especially considering the fact that they didn't really lose a whole lot on their defense, and you know how good that was last season.
Yes, the only thing I'd say to keep in mind, the only big name, Dante Hightower decided to sit out the season because of COVID. So that will be a big loss for that team.
I mean, that is true, but do the Dolphins really have that much of a running game that he needs to stop like that?
No, the Dolphins, their offensive talent is on the outside. It's not in the running game.
Right.
They did bring in Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard, the man that was disgraced in Philadelphia, should have gotten more touches and just never did. And you know I'm right.
I do know you're right. We started playing him too late, and then the end of the season came around, and we just didn't want to pay him. Which, whatever. But you know what? It's fine, though, because I'm excited about our young running backs. Really excited. So I'm good with it.
Him?
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins on this one. I know,
Ooh.
the first disagreement we
Our
had so far.
first break.
Yep, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins on this one because I think the Patriots not having Tom Brady at the head, even though I've already previously stated that Tom Brady was barely anything without his. That man has skill, but he was not the team. If that makes any sense.
Right.
I think the loss of Tom Brady is going to hit the offense in a way that they're going to have to get some new footing, at least for a few games before they start coming out to like play hardball. And I've never truly been a Cam Newton fan.
Me neither.
So
TBH.
I think I've gotten that. I think I got that from you when like from college.
Yeah.
And like you were like, look at Cam Newton, he's overhyped, and I kind of like, I think you have a bit of a point there. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins on this one. I think if I'm wrong, I won't be surprised.
Right.
I think that the Patriots may be off balance for this one.
I have to disagree with you, and here's why. Cam Newton's got a chip on his shoulder more than anyone else in the league. Him and Tom Brady, in my opinion, have the two biggest chips on their shoulders. They both got something to prove, because Brady wants to prove that he was something without Belichick, which I believe he will be.
Yep.
And Newton wants to prove he's still a top-tier quarterback in this league. And in a Belichick system, in a scheme where literally, like, he was grooming Garoppolo to be the next Brady before he left, and they were succeeding. In a Belichick scheme, Cam Newton, a quarterback that can actually run the football, they're going to come out without skipping a beat. I think they're going to blow Miami out of the water.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
But I will also say, and this is specifically at Cam Newton, I think, have you ever seen the sign that a lot of people have tried to climb Mount Everest and a lot of those people are dead bodies? Like, the whole being determined sometimes just leads you to be dead kind of thing. I worry that Cam Newton specifically, his determination might not, like, it might just kind of fall short. Twice the pride, double the fall kind of thing.
Facts. Best one in any movie ever.
I'm not saying I'm going to be, like, surprised if I'm wrong, but I thought that, why not pick the Dolphins?
If the Dolphins, they're named after a fish.
Actually, they're a mammal.
If the Dolphins win, I was having this conversation with myself earlier. If the Dolphins win, I actually won't be that surprised, I don't think. But it's one of those games where if somebody put a gun to my head and say you have to make a pick, I think I'd probably still put my money on New England.
If I was betting money, I'd go New England. But I'm gonna support the Dolphins. I'm gonna pick them.
The next game I'm actually kind of excited about. Not that I'll get to watch it, but I'll see the highlights at some point. Chargers at Bengals. Joe Burrow is starting, and Chargers QB is Tyrod Taylor, the most disrespected quarterback in the entire NFL.
Where did he come from?
Buffalo.
Buffalo? I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one, because I remember Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo. He was in Buffalo last year, correct?
No, it's been a couple of years.
I remember
3
Tyrod
years?
Taylor in Buffalo a little bit then. I think the Chargers, they don't still have Melvin Gordon, do they?
Nope, he's a Denver Bronco now.
Gosh, alright, maybe I won't. Alright, come back to me. I'm rethinking my choice.
Okay.
Okay, say these two teams again, because there's the gnat that's flying around in my face and it will not leave me alone.
Chargers at Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals, 100%. I'm a believer in Joe Burrow, and I think that he's honestly going to come into the league and take it by storm. I think he's going to come in without missing a beat. I really do. I don't think he's going to be like some of the other rookies we've seen that have like taken a little bit to make an impact. Like he seems like he's ready to take. No, because Lamar was actually decent in his rookie year. He just wasn't given a chance until late.
Until we got to the playoffs, then he was the exact opposite of decent.
Right. I mean, you want to talk about it, let's talk about it, but some other time. Because, I mean, I'm just saying, Joe Burrow, he looks like he's ready to take the reins and lead a team. I'm not saying they're going to be good this year, but,
I watched now I don't watch college football like at all, and I saw no draft highlights this year whatsoever because I didn't get a chance to watch the draft either. So I know absolutely nothing about Joe Burrow. But I like a lot of the pieces that the Bengals offense has in their skill positions. AJ Green is back, and he's always a monster when he's on the field. Uh, I like the Bengals backfield. They just extended Joe Mixon. Um, I watched an interview on there was the Barstool Sports podcast, and they had Burrow on the day after he won his Heisman, and I loved it. The kid's swagger was just unbelievable. So I like his swagger. I have no idea what he is as a quarterback, but the only problem he's going to have is that Bengals offensive line is beyond awful. I mean, it is just terrible. So I worry about a rookie quarterback behind what I'm guessing will probably be the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Point.
But especially in week one when you're going up against Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. I want to pick the Bengals because they're at home, and I kind of want the Bengals to win. But it's one of those games that can go either way, I think. But I'm going to go with the Bengals because F it.
Yeah, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go with them because I forgot about AJ Green. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
Informing.
No, I'm not informing. I know AJ Green. Like, he's one of the names that I do know, and I know he's got skill. And
He's got skill when he's healthy.
Right.
Yeah, just like Gronk.
Well, he'll be healthy week one unless he gets hurt in the middle of the game.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I know. I'm
know
so sorry. Yeah. Shut up.
I'm gonna agree with the Bengals because
okay, so we've all got Bengals.
More names. I recognize Joe Mixon as well as a big name for the Bengals.
He's a G.
I don't know anything about Joe Burrow either. But I'm picking the Bengals because they're at home. I recognize more names, and the Chargers also don't have Melvin Gordon, and I don't know what else they have.
So next game, I'm actually going hot take here. Next game is Cardinals at 49ers. I'm picking Arizona.
Wow.
I like Kyler Murray a lot. I liked what I saw out of him last year, especially towards the end of the season. Larry Legend is back for another season, and now it's a tandem with Larry Fitzgerald and Nuke Hopkins, and you find me a better receiving core anywhere.
I'm gonna go 49ers on this because I think the 49ers just got cocky in the Super Bowl, and so they started to lay back a bit, and then Patrick Mahomes crushed their back.
Yep.
And I was ever disappointed for two whole quarters, for a whole half of the game. But I just don't see the Cardinals with anything but Larry Fitzgerald, and I don't think that Larry Fitzgerald alone is good enough to beat a team that,
Nuke Hopkins,
despite having lost, just got back from the Super Bowl.
DeAndre Hopkins, though.
I still think the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl, and Cardinals didn't.
Well,
Did the Cardinals even make the playoffs? Because I don't remember them making the playoffs. And that's my reasoning. I think the 49ers just have more tools in the toolbox to build the house than the Cardinals do.
I'm thinking. So they extended the playoffs, so now 7 teams from each conference can make the playoffs. And I'm going to be perfectly honest here. This NFC West, I would not be surprised if all 4 of those teams go to the playoff. Like the division winner and then all 3 wildcard teams are the other 3 NFC West teams. I think that division is going to be that competitive this year.
When the Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals all make it to the playoffs.
I would honestly love that.
Watch the Browns beat up the Steelers somehow.
I'd also love that.
Steelers thing to have happen. It really is.
All right, so I've got Cardinals. Tim's got Niners. Tyler.
I gotta tell you, man. I did not believe in the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Like, I didn't think they'd be able to overcome Patty, and, they didn't. I think that team talks up a big game, but when it's time to shine, they fade into the spotlight. You know, like
Mhm.
you can't see them. They shine so bright that you can't even see them when they need to show up.
Right.
But I will say they are a pretty good regular season team.
Oh, yeah.
So I do like the fact that Arizona re-signed Larry because I love me some Larry Fitzgerald,
Yep.
and I love the fact that they gave D-Hop an extension which he negotiated himself. Quite impressive.
Mhm.
All that being taken into account, I think I gotta go with the 49ers, honestly, and that's solely because that boy out there named Bosa,
Oh, boy.
I don't know that I trust Arizona's line to keep him away from Kyler Murray. I don't know that I trust it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do either, but yeah, Murray's quick. He can run away from people. He'd be fine.
Right.
All
So
right.
I'm going with 49ers for that pick.
Next game is oh boy, the next game. We get to watch Brady Breeze twice this year, and this is the first go round. Buccaneers at New Orleans. I'm gonna let somebody else take it.
Brady was on the Bucs. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Saints, only because Tom Brady, brand new team. And as I've already said twice, I don't think Brady is the GOAT at all by any extent. I think it was the team and his coach that gave him the ability to be labeled as the GOAT. I think he has skill on his own, but he's working with a brand new team that isn't run by Belichick and in this case, versus a team that Drew Brees has consistently ran. And the Saints are by no extent an average team. They're not always exceptional, but they're consistently really good team. So I think the Saints have this one versus the Bucs. Just even with Tom Brady at the head, I think he's got to find his footing with a new team in a new season before he can lead the Bucs to disagree with me.
Right.
So I just want to put this out there. I sat here and I let all of that venomous toxicity, spewing hatred towards the greatest player of all time come out of your mouth. That blasphemy, the blasphemy that I just heard.
All right, Stephen A.
Tom Brady, like I said, and Cam Newton have the most to prove this season. He's going to come out there and he's going to be slinging it. He's going to push the ball up with Leonard Fournette, get them on their heels, and you know it, he's going to sling it right into that tight end receiving core. And Godwin and Mike Evans are going to lead the chains and move the chains up the field. I'm telling you, New Orleans does not have the secondary to stop that offense. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be a game won on the defensive end. I don't believe it's going to be a game
shootout
on the offensive end. It's going to be a shootout, and Brady's going to come out on top.
So my thing here is it's going to be a shootout because you're right. The Saints don't necessarily have the defensive personnel, but Jesus, neither does Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's secondary is no good. Now, both teams have decent pass rushes, so that could make things interesting. The only difference there is going to be the Saints have a really good offensive line, and the Buccaneers have I'm going to call them an average at best offensive line. So I think Brady might be under duress a decent bit. The Buccaneers offense on paper is absolutely unstoppable. The Saints offense is also really good. Michael Thomas will not be denied anything ever in his entire life. And you're also looking at two all-time great coaches. I mean, Bruce Arians is he's not as much of a legend, I don't think, as he should be in the public eye. But I know he's one of the most respected coaches around the league. And Sean Payton's record speaks for itself. I'm going to go with the Saints simply because, no, there is no home field this year. Damn it.
Wait, why is
Oh,
that the home field? What?
because there's no fans.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Oh God, okay. Because I always figured the
I
Bucks
know
and the
they're
Saints
left,
were gonna split this year. Oh God, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with New Orleans just because I need to pick one of the teams. But I think the Bucks are probably gonna win their home game. So I'm going New Orleans this round. So next game is the Sunday night game. Dallas at LA Rams.
Is
First,
this even going to be more than a 3-minute discussion? Rams all the way. I never have seen the Cowboys do anything impressive, and even when they do, it's all lies. And
I could say the exact same thing about the LA Rams.
I know, but I like the Rams more than the Cowboys.
You know, I gotta say, them boys out there, they know what they're doing, don't they? They know what they're doing out there, keeping Dak Prescott on a string, teasing him while they got Andy Dalton out there as a backup. They say,
Facts.
we don't need you.
Facts. That was I hate to ever give Jerry Jones credit for anything, but he deserves a little bit of credit for that move. That was smart, bringing in Dalton.
So, I gotta say, Jalen Ramsey is pretty much, as far as I know, the only good part about that Rams secondary.
Yeah. Yep.
And Dallas, they got a pretty decent receiving core, wouldn't you say?
It's good.
And and they got a running back that could definitely make the Pro Bowl if they actually fed him. Not naming any names, Jason Garrett, the Clapper. But I think I'm gonna, as much as I hate to say it, I gotta go with Dallas. I think they're gonna start their season off well, and then they're gonna do what the Cowboys always do, and they're going to collapse in on themselves and go 8-8, and it's gonna be great.
The accident waiting to happen. Am I right, Stephen A? I'm picking.
I haven't heard that in a long time, but as soon as you say it,
not since the Green Bay playoff game and their 13-3 Dak's rookie season.
Right.
I'm picking the Cowboys. I said in the video I recorded the other night. I think Dallas, their roster is really, really talented. Now, but it was also really talented last year, and we all saw how that worked out. They lost to the Phillies practice squad. Anywho, I'm picking. I think I'm gonna go with Tyler. They're gonna probably start really strong, and the Rams I think are gonna be. The Rams are going to be the worst team in that division this year, and I still think they're going to win at least 8-9 games. But I think Dallas is going to top this one. So, yeah.
Even after all that, I'm still sticking with the Rams, mostly because I'm also an underdog fan, and I also think the Rams deserve a bit more credit. But we'll see. I'm not going to be surprised if I'm wrong.
All right, here you go, Tyler. Monday night, 7 o'clock. Steelers at New York Giants.
If you ever thought that I was going to put the New York Giants over my team, and believe me, I can be fair, but the New York Giants and good old Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes, the greatest quarterback that New York has never seen.
Facts.
I will tell you this right now. I'll say it again. Mediocre, B- career quarterback. And that's all I have to say on that. Steelers all the way, 100%.
Yeah. I'm picking Pittsburgh easily. I think the Giants have the potential to be like an 8-8, 9-7 team this year, but I don't think they're going to beat Pittsburgh. Not against that defense.
I'm also going Pittsburgh, even though I'm a Ravens fan. I'm not an idiot.
Facts.
Most of the time. The only thing that I ever see from the Giants that I'm like, man, I wish you were on a different team is Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Because sometimes Saquon's hurt because he's just so athletic. He literally carries the team on his back, and you see what happens.
Well, and
exactly. Saquon Barkley deserves to be on a better team. He deserves to go to a team that can actually use him, that actually has assets.
Saquon's biggest problem.
Yes, I agree.
Shut up, Tyler.
No,
Bad.
Let's send him to the Browns. That's where all talent goes to die. Yeah, I'm picking Steelers. The Giants are just, they don't have anything to bring to the table. They don't have a memorable defense. They don't have a memorable offense.
No, they
I
don't.
can't even say memorable with a straight face with that. They only have Saquon Barkley, and that's not enough to win the game.
No, and Saquon's problem, like last year,
I think you hurt and you're a monster, but you can't win games by being one player.
All right. Monday night again, because the first week of the season they always start a game at 10:30 at night. Titans at Broncos. I think this one's going to be interesting. Drew Lock down the end of the stretch last year looked really good. He went 4-1 as a starter. But there's a lot of people who are saying the Titans are going to have a regress year, and I just don't see it. I think Henry's going to come out and be an animal yet again. And you know me, I've always had a lot of faith in Ryan Tannehill, and I don't see him regressing. So I think the Titans are going to have another really good season, and I think they're going to start with a win in Denver.
Tim, do you want to...
I'm going to wait for your pick because I need as much information about these teams as possible.
All right, so I can't mention my pick and justify it without saying, believe me, I love me some Drew Lock. I love Drew Lock. I think he looks good. I think he's got lots of potential.
Yep.
Gobs and gobs of it.
I agree.
However, we can't just sit here and ignore the fact that Von Miller just got hurt.
Yeah, I know.
And he is the linchpin of that defense.
That hurt my soul. Reading that just hurt me inside.
So, with that man out, do you really believe that they've got what it takes to stop Tannehill and Henry? Because I'm not seeing it. So, I'm going to have to go with Tennessee for that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to agree, because I didn't know Von Miller got hurt. Like I said, literally nothing. Nothing keeping up with anything. That'll change as time goes on.
Now, the one thing I will say...
I'm gonna choose the Titans because I know they just have a good team. They're consistent. Tannehill is not a bad quarterback by any stretch. Nope. And I know who Von Miller is, not a fool. And without Von Miller, the Broncos they just don't have the offensive tools to win an offensive game against the Titans. And the Titans, if I remember correctly, have a pretty decent defense too.
Yeah, so it's on the higher end of average.
The Titans are going to slap them, or the Broncos are going to make a little headway and then just get
I think
beachhead.
One thing that'll be interesting to see is the whole Henry situation, because a lot of times Henry will start off the season kind of slow. And Denver's run defense actually is not bad. Denver has some big boys up front to stop run. Derek Wolfe and the boys. But I'm just not, like I said, it's the offensive potential, and I like Tennessee's young talent better. Again, I think Drew Lock is going to have a good season. I just don't think it starts here. So yeah. All right, that's the games, boys, and this is over 33 minutes long, and this is the second part of this video. So this is just going to become a podcast, a weekly podcast at this point. So
I mean, if it's going to be a weekly podcast, please get yourself a better microphone and figure out why your microphone.
No,
freaking out.
I know. Yeah, I gotta fix OBS sometime this weekend because I like the Discord mics. I don't even know how to fix it. Is my problem. So I'm gonna stop this recording right now. So say goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
We'll see you. I'm sorry for my lack of football knowledge.
The three of us will see you next week.
Have fun. Hope your team wins, unless you're the Cowboys. If that's the case, I despise you.
Facts. Me too. Facts. Big facts. No, I actually picked them, so I actually kind of wanted to win this week.
I don't. There is not a week that goes by that I ever want the Cowboys to win. But
True.
Do I think they will win?
Yes. That's it. Yeah. That's the one. That's the word. All right. We will see you guys next on Wednesday, hopefully, and I will see you guys Probably tomorrow for an Eagles preview. So, good night. Enjoy football.